So we're at the third stage of labor or afterbirth. The delivery of the placenta and associated membranes, commonly referred to as the afterbirth, marks the final stage of childbirth. So after expulsion of the newborn, the myometrium continues to contract. So yes, you're gonna have contractions even after giving birth, and this movement shears the placenta from the back of the uterine wall. It is then easily delivered through the vagina. Continued uterine contractions then reduce blood loss from the site of the placenta. During the placental stage or afterbirth, the placenta detaches from the uterus within 15 minutes after birth. Delivery of the placenta marks the beginning of the postpartum period, the period of approximately 6 weeks immediately following childbirth, during which the mother's body gradually returns to a non-pregnant state. If the placenta does not birth spontaneously within 30 minutes, it is considered retained, and obstetrician may attempt manual removal. If this is not successful, surgery may be required. The placenta and its attached fetal membranes are called the afterbirth, and it is important that the obstetrician examines the expelled placenta and fetal membranes to ensure that they are intact. The removal of all placental material will prevent prolonged bleeding after delivery. If fragments of the placenta remain in the uterus, they can cause postpartum hemorrhage. So, hemorrhage, heavy bleedings. Uterine contractions continue for several hours after birth to return the uterus to its pre-pregnancy size in a process called involution. So it's going to shrink again, which also allows the mother's abdominal organs to return to their pre-pregnancy locations. Breastfeeding facilitates this process. Although postpartum uterine contractions limit blood loss from the detachment of the placenta, the mother does experience a postpartum vaginal discharge called loggia. This is made up of the uterine lining cells, erythrocytes, leukocytes, and other debris. Thick dark loggia rubra, so red, this is like red blood, typically continues for 2 to 3 days, and it is replaced by the loggia serosa, a thinner pinkish form that continues until about the 10th postpartum day. And after this period, a creamy or watery discharge called loggia alba, so a white thing, may continue for another 1 to 2 weeks. So don't worry if that's going to happen. Women are actually able to breastfeed at around 4 months of pregnancy, but high levels of progesterone and estrogen during this time prevent lactation. So after the placenta is delivered during birth, as you can see here, the blood levels of progesterone and estrogen fall, allowing the mother to produce the first meal of colostrum, a high-density milk that contains more protein, minerals, and fat-soluble vitamins A and K than the mature milk, which is not suitable for the newborn. So when the baby suckles, oxytocin and prolactin are released from the pituitary and pass through the mother's blood to the breast, where prolactin stimulates milk production and oxytocin stimulates milk delivery to the nipple. As well as stimulating bonding, these hormones also aid milk release and further milk production. Mature milk that nourishes the baby and induces sleep starts to be produced about 4 days after birth. So more about lactation in the next video.